Tony McKinney. I own Complete Auto Repair and Performance in Farmersville, Ohio. I am from Lewisburg, Ohio, and we own Farmersville Auto Sales and Trailers as well.
So just what got you into racing?
I've been into racing for a long time. I kind of walked away from it for a little while just because we had family and stuff like that. But I've always been into racing since I was 18. It kind of got me out of trouble. So I was in trouble a lot as a kid, and that kind of helped get me away from all of it.
What was your first car?
My first car that I built for myself was a 1985 S10 Blazer. We actually built it to tow my boat back and forth to the lake for the kids, and somebody ended up talking me into taking it to the racetrack. By the end of that night, all the seats were out of it. It was probably 100 pounds lighter, and we ran like 1480 with it. So it just kind of progressed from there. I still have it.
And you still have that Blazer?
I still have it. It's actually going to be a small tire, big block, blown on alcohol this year.
We'll come back to that. So just tell me a little bit about your progression in racing from the Blazer to now.
So from the Blazer, we went out, we street raced a lot in Middletown. You know, everybody met at White Castle up there. And I got into some trouble, ended up selling it, got it back, started building it again. And this was back in 06, 07. And we had fun with it. I was in and out of it. And we started progressing more into testing. Wanted to get into some performance work, so we got this Mustang, and we started using it for testing. Ended up going to a no prep race in Bowling Green back in, I think it was 2017. That's really when I started saying, hey, this is going to go somewhere, and I'm going to do something with it. And we started hammering since that race.
So tell me a little more about your street racing career before Bowling Green.
So before Bowling Green, we'd go up to Middletown, and it didn't matter. Back then, it didn't matter who you raced, who had what. Everybody was there to have fun, and there was a side road over by AK Steel that everybody would race down. And it didn't matter who you knew, who you were. You know, I remember, you know, guys like Phil Hines coming up there and his little Mustang, and we just had fun with it. And it wasn't as much of a grudge scene. Everybody was there to have fun and enjoy it.
So what was your most memorable race there?
Oh my God. Back then it was probably sticking a buddy of mine in the back, holding on to bars. And we sprayed it, had a nitrous backfire in the middle of the pass. And we got out to try to put it out. He's back there screaming, let me out, let me out. He was locked in. There wasn't shit he could do. That was probably my most memorable back then. We were a little wild back then. It was fun. We had fun.
Well, that is, and street racing, as you know, is definitely a lot different from now to then.
Oh yeah.
What kind of changes have you seen since TV's shown its light on street racing?
Oh my God, everybody's building a car now, I think. Everybody likes to think they're the fastest. What I see is there's a lot more competitiveness here. Up in this area, small tire is huge, and everybody is competitive, and the cars are really fast. The cars are as fast on the street now, or faster on the street than they were, you know, back in the early 2000s when we were getting into it on the track. It's evolved so much. It's gotten a little out of hand, but man, it's fun, and it drives you. It makes you want to be faster, makes you want to be better, you know, makes you want to work on the car. So it's definitely gotten way more competitive.
So with the new style of street racing that's ushered in the last 4 or 5 years, what's been your most memorable race?
Oh my God. Man, I've had a few of them. I've had quite a few of them. I'll tell you what, we raced Billy Hoskins.
Put your hands in the air.
And we cracked the tire right at the light, so they called it a jump. But that was a really good race. And that was just this past summer? Other than that, we've had some fun. We've been on the street quite a bit here the past 2 years. We did a filming up in Nebraska, and honestly, probably my most favorite race to date was racing Daddy Dave on the street. He showed us where we needed to improve. It was a tight race. It was a good race.
And so tell us a little more about that race.
We had him for about 620 feet. I would say he probably clipped us, about the last 40 feet. I can't get into too much detail on it because it hasn't shown yet, but he got us. Well, according to film, he got us.
So is that a rematch that's coming?
I'm hoping so. I hope so. If it is, he'll be in for a rude awakening this time.
So tell us about the stepchild, its beginnings, and give us the backstory on the car.
So when we got stepchild, we actually built it. I built it and helped my brother-in-law with it. It was his car. We started on it. He wanted a fast car. So the deal was it was my engine, my EFI, basically everything inside of it was mine. But he got to drive it, and it was a sponsorship deal. We got to do all the research and development on it and try to make it, where we wanted it. But if anything happened, he was responsible for all maintenance. Something happened, he broke an input shaft. He said, I can't afford this. I don't want to go any further. So I bought the car from him since everything was mine anyways. We started making the car what it is today. We got it from him. We started doing some street racing with it, some backside of the track stuff. We ended up going to the Bowling Green race, which is our very first no prep race in 2017. And this car back then wasn't as fast as what it is now, but we had a blast. We actually made it to the semifinals, ended up grudge racing Joey Rabiola in the finals, just for a grudge race, so it wasn't a solo pass. And I was hooked. I was hooked on making the car faster. I was hooked on wanting to beat him, honestly. That's what hooked me. I don't like to lose at all, ever.
And so that was the first major motivating force for stepchild.
That was the very first no prep race, and that's what made me say, hey, we're going to do something with this car. We enjoyed that style racing. Everybody gets along typically. It's not grudge racing up north and no time racing. You guys talk way too much shit for me. I can't deal with it mentally. I don't like it. I can't sit there and bash somebody in their car. We all put the same amount of effort in our cars. Where the no prep racing, everybody typically gets along. The no prep racing we've done, or our experience, we've been able to, if we broke, we've had people come up and offer, here's parts, here's help, what do you need? And I like that. So it feels more like family, more like a family environment.
So what's your most memorable no prep race outside of Bowling Green?
Outside of Bowling Green, I would say probably Colorado in 2019. We beat Boosted GT on Friday night, ended up winning the Friday night event, and beating Boosted GT was a huge stepping stone for us. We knew we had to draw them somewhat early in the rounds because guys like that, once they get data, their cars are so fast, you can't compete with them. And we know that if we draw guys like that first round or in the first couple rounds, we got a real good shot. And we drew him, I believe it was first or second round. And we put him out. That was probably the best feeling ever. I respect them, that's why. A lot of these guys I respect because you watched them. You watched them grow into what they actually have today. I know they get a lot of flack, but when you watch somebody grow like that, you want to beat them. You want to be faster than them because you know what they can do.
And so building on that, what's your personal journey been and your personal growth been since starting with stepchild?
Well, 2019, we won the small tire No Prep King 3 points championship. That was a huge goal for me. It took a lot of effort. We didn't win every event, but we made every event. We went rounds every event. You know, we put in the work. We ended up winning the entire championship. That was a huge goal for me, for my team, and we was able to accomplish that.
And what did you take away from that?
I need to be a lot faster. Man, them guys, once they get second, third, fourth rounds are really, really fast. They start putting radios on their car, they're flying.
And so, what's next for Stepchild?
I don't know. I think we're going to kind of let her relax a little bit. We're going to do, if time permits with our season this year, we'll do some backside of the track stuff or some street stuff with it. But I don't think it'll see very many no prep or port your own puddles this year, just because of our schedule. So I think we're going to cover her up, put her to bed for a little bit. I know all I have to do is pull the cover off of it, put air in the tires, and I can go race her. She's been faithful.
And so, let's elaborate a little, as much as you can, on why your schedule is going to be so busy in 2021.
2021, we're building a new car. Be done here in the next couple of weeks. We have to start testing for it. We're going to do all the No Prep King stuff, and then there's some other filmings that we're wanting to do. We're going to see how our schedule plays out with all this, but we definitely have 13 races across the country. The other stuff we're gonna follow, as best as we can, as long as it doesn't conflict with the schedule. But our goal is to go win No Prep Kings 4 this year.
And so, with that kind of schedule, what kind of impact does that have on your professional life and your personal life?
I've got a good team here that can run the business. They can do everything that we have to do here. So I'm not worried about that. The wife, her and the kids want me to follow my dream. My dreams, I love racing. They go to a couple of them a year. So hopefully they'll be able to fly in, see me race a couple of times. It's going to be really hectic. It's going to be probably hard for them. I know it's going to be hard for me being away from them, but I think it's a good career move. I think it's a good goal move. This is something that I've always wanted to do since it started. This is something that, I think is going to push me into my next level for my professional, for my driver, career, for all that.
So elaborating a little bit on your crew and your team that hold things down while you're gone. Who are those key people and what they do for you?
So we got Kayla that runs the office. I got Billy, Colin, and Josh that turn wrenches over there. I got John Fowler over here. He does all the fabrication and all the welding and all the big jobs that nobody else wants to do. And then I got Eric Mans runs my trailer sales now. So between all them, they'll hold the fort down. They'll be able to make sure that the day-to-day operations stay running. I have my wife that's here if we need anything. She'll run errands. She'll do whatever we need her to do.
And who is Eric Mans? I've never heard of her before.
She drives Boston, Georgia. Eric has actually become a really, really good friend over about the past year. We've shared a lot of information together. He has helped set some stuff up on this car, on Stepchild, that I think if we do get a chance to do some street racing or backside of the track is really, really going to help. But yeah, he's become a good friend, and working at the trailer sales place really stepped the game up there because he's driven. That kid, if you don't know him, that kid he's got the work ethic. He says he doesn't have work ethic. He has a very strong work ethic because he's money driven, and he will work his tail off. So I'm proud of him. He's come a long way. That's why we started hanging out. He doesn't quit. If you ever notice, he'll pull up any race. I don't care if it's a street, if it's a track, and he just set the motor in the car and he's doing crap to it before he'll never do a burnout, go stage the car and run. And I'm like, how the hell do you do that? He's a good kid.
I don't like to correct people, but I think you mean every race.
Okay, you're right. Every race. You're right.
You might be the last one there too.
There's about a 98% chance he's the Phil Hines of small tire racing.
But I agree.
Oh,
hell of a
God.
guy and a hell of a work ethic, and I've gotten to know him a lot better this year too, and definitely love and respect that dude.
Oh, he is a super good guy. He gets a lot of flack because of stuff he does on the internet. But if you look at it, it's always racing. It's never personal. It's, he tries to keep it racing. He tries to get everybody involved. Yeah, he will try to get under your skin. He will post stuff but he's got a heart of gold. He really does. I mean, he's a good kid. I call him a kid like he's 15. Damn, that makes me old, doesn't it?
Both of us.
Holy cow.
So maybe some stuff with stepchild next year, but where's the main focus for you as a driver next year?
The main focus is going to be our new big tire car. It's screw-blown Hemi. That's going to be 100% our focus. We will take a small tire car with us. We're actually going to take two with us because it's Revolution Racing. So Joe Minton owns Revolution Racing. Richard Talley's going to be in a small tire car following the No Prep Kings. I'm going to be in a small tire car, and I'm going to be in a big tire. Ultimately, for me, the big tire comes first, just because there's guys out there that I want to beat. We lost in a race to Fireball in Georgia this year. I didn't like it. Joe didn't like it. He built a brand new car because of it. We don't like to lose, so that's going to be 100% my focus. Time allows, we'll do some small tire racing with it as well. We're going to take a car with us, so as long as it doesn't interfere, that's what we're going to do.
So what cars, before we move the camera, what are the cars that you're going to be racing?
So the new big tire car is a 66 Chevy Nova. It has a Mick Snyder 526-inch Hemi with a screw blower on it. And then the Blazer is a big block Chevy with a H-rotor blower. And it's going to be small tire. All right, so after winning the 2019 No Prep Kings, Dean Carnes kept telling me all year, he told me all year, he said, I'm getting you in a blower car. I told him he was full of shit. I said, there's no way, dude, I love my turbo car. So he was persistent about it. He ended up coming to me, I'm gonna say it was December of 19. He said, hey, I got somebody who wants a driver. I know you don't really want to follow it just because of the expense on it. What do you think about driving for somebody else? We're drinking, I'm having a good time. Hell yeah, let's do it. He calls him up. Joe gets on the phone. He says, yeah, I want you to drive, blah, blah, blah. Dean's told me about you. Okay, cool. Hell yeah, let's do it. I'm half drunk at this point. I go home, go to bed. I tell my wife, I said, look, there's no way he's going to want me to drive a car like that. He's full of shit. We wake up next morning, phone rings. It's Joe Minton. Hey, when can you come sit in the car? This, that, and the other. I cover the phone. I look over at my wife. I said, hey, I don't think this dude's full of shit. So it kind of escalated from there. We didn't really know what we were getting into. I just knew that somebody wanted me to drive their car. It was a blower car. So we go down, we look at the car. We work stuff out, and I kind of look at Joe and I said, look, I don't want to quit something, midway. How, is this something you really want to pursue? He said, I don't care what it takes. I want to win. I said, okay. So we kind of, we developed a really good relationship. Joe's become a really good friend. Dean helped me settle down in the car all year, and we started driving, this 63 Chevy Nova with a screw blower. We've had fun with it. We've had a blast with it. It's been great. If it wasn't for Dean and Joe, I would never have this opportunity. So I appreciate that from both of them. Like I said, Dean helped me settle down in the car a lot. Joe wants to win. He doesn't give a shit about anything else. He wants that W. That's all he wants. If he loses, he gets mad. If he gets mad, he will do whatever he's got to do, throw more money at it, whatever, to make a competitive car. Right now, This car is the car that we drove all year of 2020. We did small tire with it. We did big tire. We won a couple events. We put it on the street. You know, guys were telling us we couldn't even put this car on the street. We did very, very well with it.
So tell us about the car.
So it's a '63 Chevy 2. It's got a Brad Anderson 526-inch Hemi in it with a D rotor screw blower on it. Now it is set up for big tire. We're going to put it back on small tire, but it's a fast car. It's fun.
So what are some of your most memorable moments in 2020 with the car?
My first pass. I was shaking so bad I couldn't hardly hold the trans brake button. Going from a turbo car into a car like this is very intimidating. Everybody thinks that they can hop in one, or they think they want to hop in one and drive it. And the first time you let go of that button, the first time you do your burnout, everything's different. You roll through your burnout. You don't stage it and come up on your trans brake until it starts popping and banging to do your burnout. Just everything about the car is different. My most memorable experience, I got a couple. Winning small tire with this thing was awesome. We won an event at Killcare. That was great. We won a big tire event at Edgewater. That was great. Putting this thing on the street and racing against guys like Daddy Dave and Trish and some of them guys testing up over in Nebraska, it was awesome. Every experience I've had with this car has been great.
And so how does this car do on the street?
It's way faster than you would think it is. I don't know how. Between Joe and Nick, and the testing that we did, they got this car really fast, and it hooks. I mean, it does its job.
And so where's the car going in 2021?
2021, Richard Talley is going to drive it for Revolution Racing. It's going to go on small tire, because we're building another big tire car. So he's going to race it through the No Prep Kings and small tire.
You talked a little bit about the difference. Kind of elaborate on the difference between a turbo car and a screwball car, a blower car. What's that difference like? So
the way they leave, you drop 2/10 easy, 2.5 tenths on your 60 foot. That's a big difference. That's a huge feeling. Going from small tire to big tire, especially with this much power, the way you pedal it, the way you stage it, everything about the car is different. But it's all manageable. Once you settle down, the faster you go, the more everything slows down for you. So it seemed like the faster we went, the more I calmed down as a driver. And it's been, the learning experience on this car has been great. So this one's going to be Novocaine, and the 63 is going to be Novopain.
Okay.
We're taking the name of the car from this one and putting it on this one just because people now know me with Novocaine. And I told Joe I didn't want to change the name of the car. So he was good with it.
So tell us, we see the cars under construction now. How's it gotten to this point, and where's it going in the next few weeks? You said you got a real short deadline.
We got about 4 or 5 weeks left to test before we start testing the car and get ready for No Prep Kings 4. We picked the car up approximately 2 to 3 weeks ago, and it was just a body, just a chassis. That was it. Somebody had been doing the car for the past couple of years, and we picked it up so we could finish it just because our deadlines are so tight right now. We don't have a choice. So we was able to get all the floors finished up, get steering column in it, get everything ready. We're starting final assembly now that hopefully in the next 2 weeks we can get somebody in here to wire it. Nick Chapman is going to come wire it, so hopefully we can get him in here in about 2 weeks and get that knocked out, and we can get ready to start testing it. I know it looks like it's a way apart, but we've actually had the car together, apart, and we're getting ready to put it together for final assembly now.
So what does the car consist of?
The car is a 66 Chevy Nova. It's got a brand new Mick Snyder 526-inch Hemi in it. It's going to have a C rotor screw blower on it. It is a big tire car. This car will probably only ever see big tires.
And this is only for No Prep Kings?
This car is only for No Prep Kings.
So what else about the car?
So we put a Moser rear end in it. They're one of our biggest sponsors. They help me out with everything. Anybody that knows me knows I push Moser, knows that with every car I've ever done, they have stepped it up. We got an Abruzzi transmission and converter in it, Haltech engine management system. We're running mechanical injection, but coil and plug. So that way we can run the best of both worlds. We can still control individual timing. We still have traction control. We still have all the amenities, but we're sticking with the mechanical injection on it.
And so what are your goals for the car in 2021?
We're going to win No Prep Kings. I have no doubt in my mind that Joe's given us a platform, and with Paul and Paul Brewer and John Fowler and myself, we're going to take this car to the next level. We will win No Prep Kings.
And so speaking about your team, who is John and Paul?
So John Fowler, he's been with me. He actually was my crew chief for a long time. He maintained Stepchild. He made sure that, he staged me. He made sure the car was ready for every event we ever went to. He is fabricator. He works for me here at Complete Auto, and he's doing a lot of the fabrication and stuff on the car. And we brought Paul Brewer in, Chip, from a NHRA Top Fuel team to come in and be a crew chief this year and ride around with us, have fun, look goofy, and enjoy some racing.
So how's it been with Paul since he's come on board?
He's a good guy. He knows what he's doing. He's young, but I trust him. He staged me here. We brought him on board here at the end of the year, helping me out with the car. I got real comfortable with him real quick. Obviously, he's got background in racing. He come from a Top Fuel team. The kid knows what he's doing. He's a little goofy, but he's a good kid.
Well, we're probably all a little goofy. That's why we get along.
Yeah, he's a little goofier. He's my Shrek friend.
So what kind of responsibilities is Paul going to have in 2021?
Everything. I feel so bad for him. He's going to have 2 cars to maintain. Main focus is big tire, but all the maintenance is going to fall on him. All the engine maintenance is going to fall on him. He lines me up, stages me, make sure I'm comfortable, make sure, we basically have everything we need. He is my crew chief for this year and hopefully for the next few years to come, or, however long we can ride this storm out. But he's got a lot of responsibility. I mean, he's going to have a lot of weight on his shoulders.
And so this project's going to be, at this time, needs to be done in 4 weeks.
We got about 4 weeks. We got to have it done. We need to start testing the car. We only have, I think, 7 to 8 weeks left before we actually start racing.
And what's its first scheduled race?
Oh, well, it's not confirmed.
Ish.
Yeah. I got to look at the schedule because they moved it around so much. They basically followed 2019 as far as the tracks, but they moved them all around 2020 as far as the tracks, but they moved them all around for 2021 because of all the COVID stuff. So I got to look and see. I can't remember where our first race is. I was wanting to say was it West Virginia? I think it was West Virginia.
March 22nd.
Yeah.
Something like that.
March 22nd, West Virginia.
And today is January 9th.
Yeah. And you see what we got? Oh, we just got a lot of work to do. They're actually, the progress of the car, I'm ecstatic with it. 2.5 weeks ago, we literally had a unpainted chassis and a shell of a body. That was it. We didn't even have a motor yet. We just sent the boys down to Texas to McKinney's to pick up a motor. They left on Friday, got back Sunday morning at like 4 in the morning. Sent my son and 2 of his friends down. They drove straight there, picked up a motor, looked at McKinney's facility, and drove back.
That's a haul.
I'm telling you that these kids will do anything for us to make sure that we make the race. Josh Finfrock is my stepson, and that kid will drop everything to go get parts, to do whatever he has to do to make sure that we make the next race.
And so what are some of the other things that you, tell me more about Josh's impact on the team in 2020.
Josh, no matter what we were doing, no matter how last minute notice, no matter where we were going, if I said we were going racing, he said bye to his girlfriend and we was loaded up and heading out. Like he didn't think nothing about it. He just knew he wanted to go racing. He wanted to hang out with me and he wanted to have fun. And we went to Nebraska for 3 weeks, you know, and I know he missed his girlfriend, I know he missed his friends, I know, but he literally dropped everything to make sure that he was there when we left.
And so what other memories do you have with Josh this year?
We let Josh make his very first pass in stepchild, and that was a great feeling, watching that kid make his very first pass in my race car. And we turned it down quite a bit, obviously, but that, as a parent, that was a really, really good feeling.
Sounds like he deserves it.
He did. He definitely deserved it. He's worked his tail off. I said it didn't matter where we were going, and we even though the COVID happened, we raced quite a bit, and we raced from Nebraska to South Carolina we were all over the country, even with all this stuff going on. There's a ton of sponsors that are helping us out, that have helped us out. First off, Moser Engineering, them guys step up tremendously every time. And I've literally built, like in the past 3 years, I've built 3 different cars, and they step up every time. We're growing, we're getting faster. They have a faith in me that is undeniable and unmatchable. I don't know what I would do without them. Mick Snyder stepped up with a motor this year, and had it ready in an unreasonable amount of time, honestly. When Joe called that guy up and said he needed it, he was there. Marco Abruzzi, he's got our transmission. We told him what we needed. He searched high and low, found everything that we needed, got us a converter together, transmission together. These guys that help us are tremendous. We got Race Star wheels. We got Chelsea over at PSI Blowers. That guy shipped us 3 blowers in the past, I'm going to say the past 3 or 4 months. And every time we send one in to freshen up, he's right on top of it, make sure we got it. Oh crap, trying to keep track of all these. RBS superchargers. We literally have parts here just about every day from them guys. From all of our sponsors, it looks like a train coming through here between 9 and 1 because we have so many UPS and FedEx drivers through here just dropping off parts. They step up, they make sure we have what we need to make sure we're going to be ready for the races coming up. So without all them, without Joe Minton and Revolution Racing, I wouldn't be able to. So with Joe Minton and Revolution Racing, that guy, he trusted me to drive his car. He's trusting us as a team to build another car, get it ready. Without his help and him really having the trust in us, we wouldn't be as far as we are. So, you know, that guy's been gold to me. He's become a really, really good friend. I love him to death. He's a little on the goofy side, but I think we all are. So we all fit in perfect. But yeah, and you know, he's brought in people to help us. He's made the right contacts. I introduced him to Chip and Paul Brewer, and he immediately fell in love with Chip. I think it's kind of a man crush type thing, but I'll let them two hash that out. But he brought him in, and Chip, I don't know why, took a leap of faith in this thing and decided to leave an NHRA team and Top Fuel team to come hang out with us lowlifes. But I promise we're going to have some fun, and I think it's going to be a good time.